Ajewole on that program at exactly 1:30 till 2:30 p.m. You'll be meeting Adebayo Ojodene on the program. Thank God it's Friday. Bí ní ṣe jẹ́ ọjọ́ Jímọ̀ lóyìn ayé gbogbo wa náà yóò máa dùn yóò máa lóyìn at exactly 2:30 till 3 p.m. You'll be meeting Olúwafunke Israel on the program Women's Talk tí ó máa sọ̀rọ̀ lórí tó ní ṣe pẹ̀lú àwọn obìnrin ọ̀rọ̀ tó ní ṣe pẹ̀lú àwọn obìnrin òun náà ni yóò máa sọ nígbà náà lọ kí gbogbo wa kí amẹ́tílẹ̀ gọ̀gọ̀ ká tún gbé tún wáyé dédé aago 3 àbọ̀ sẹ́ni wọ aago 4 àbọ̀ ọ̀sẹ́ni ẹ̀ máa pàdé ọ̀rẹ́ yín ọmọ yín olólùfẹ́ yín Abdul Fatah Giwa lórí ètò kan tá a pè ní wáàsí ọjọ́ Jímọ̀ gbogbo àwọn kan tó ní ṣe pẹ̀lú ẹ̀sìn mùsùlùmí bó la ṣe ń ṣe bó la ṣe ń kírun bó la ṣe ń gbàwẹ̀ àtàwọn nǹkan mìíràn ni wọ́n máa gbéyàwó ní abala yẹn tó bá di dédé aago 4 àbọ̀ waago 5 ó kù ìṣẹ́jú 15 Barika Juma pẹ̀lú Abdul Geniyi Akínọlá ẹ máa pàdé àwọn náà láti ìlú Ìpẹ̀tù Ìjẹ̀ṣà. tó bá di dédé aago 5 kù ìṣẹ́jú 15 waago 5 gẹ́gẹ́ Islamic music bí ní ṣe jẹ́ ọjọ́ Jímọ̀ lóyin àwọn orin mùsùlùmí tó jẹ́ tí ń gbèsè tó múnú ẹni dùnmarè ní yágágá yóò máa wá sí ti gbọ̀yìn nígbà yẹn. tó bá di dédé aago 5 ìrọ̀lẹ́ waago 6 ìrọ̀lẹ́ ní ètò kan tí ó tún máa gorí agbágbé òun náà ni ìkejì gbòde pẹ̀lú Ọládìméjì Ọláníyì àti Kẹ́hìndé Kọmọláfẹ́ tí ó máa sọ èdè ìkejì gbòde tí wọ́n máa tukọ̀ ètò ọ̀hún tí wọ́n dẹ̀ máa sọ fún wa lórí onírúurú àwọn nǹkan tó yẹ ká mọ̀ ní ìlú Ìkejìlé àti gbogbo agbègbè rẹ̀ tó bá dédé aago 6 gẹ́gẹ́ News Nationwide yóò máa gorí agbágbé Jamotun Extra láti aago 6 kọjá ìṣẹ́jú 15 waago 7 ó kù ìṣẹ́jú 15 ní gorí agbágbé pẹ̀lú Adéwálé Adéníyì. Exactly 7 p.m. ìròyìn káàkiri ilẹ̀ wa ni yóò máa wá sétí ìgbọ̀nyín nígbà náà lọ́n gbàdágo 7 kọjá ìṣẹ́jú 15 waago 7 àbọ̀ a máa mú àwọn ìkéde àtàwọn orin tó jẹ tí ń gbèsè wá fún yín gbà yẹn tó bá dédé aago 7 àbọ̀ waago 8 òkòtó ní wáàsí àbí ìwàásù eléyìí tí bàbá wa Ṣínà Ayọ̀mí Ọlájídé bàbá òkòtó Jésù tí wọ́n ṣe onígbọ̀wọ́ ẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ ìwàásù àti àdúrà ní àmọ́ gbọ̀ngbà yẹn tó bá dédé aago 8 ìní waago 9 gẹ́gẹ́ ẹ tún máa pàdé ọ̀rẹ́ yín pàdé yín Abdul Fatah Giwa lórí ètò ọgbà ìfẹ́ kí torí pé wọ́n ní ohun gbogbo where there is love there is everything níbi tí ìfẹ́ bá wà ìdùnnú ayọ̀ yóò fi gbogbo bẹ̀ yóò fi ṣe gbùgbé tó bá dédé aago 9 gẹ́gẹ́ láfi àdàgbà ètò láfi rọ̀ fún ti tèmi bí àwọn ètò wa ọlọ́kan-ò-jọ̀kan bí èsì lọ́lé ní ti ṣe ọjọ́ 9 oṣù karùn-ún òun náà láti mú wá sí ti ìgbọ́ ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ ìkànnì yìí kí ẹ dákun kí ẹ má yín kúrò níbẹ̀ torí pé gbogbo nǹkan tí ẹ fẹ́ gbọ́ lójú kan ló wà tó bá dédé aago 7 kọjá ìṣẹ́jú 15 lójú ọjà ètò tí ọmọ gorí agbágbé wáyé dédé aago 7 àbọ̀ newspaper review with Olúwafunke Israel Mujibu Ọlákúnlé lórúkọ mi portable presenter ẹ má yín kúrò níbẹ̀ o gbogbo nǹkan tí ẹ fẹ́ gbọ́ lójú kan ló wà.
mi ò gbọ́ ń pa Vicinity 95.3 FM nìkan ló máa ń ṣe mí létí.
Bí wọ́n bí mi yẹ ó máa tètè kẹ́. Ó dára tiwa ni. Àṣà mi ó dára mo sì pọ̀lẹ́. Ó dára tiwa ni. Àwọn ìpè 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 ó dára tiwa ni. Má ṣe fa àṣà rẹ pamọ́. Ó dára tiwa ni. Sórí 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 ó dára tiwa ni. We hear the we salute you, Mama Africa. We are your children, we are here to celebrate. See my Africa has been through a lot. Oh, we are still standing. Oh, after the touch of the spider menace. Oh, yeah, we are moving on. Someone help Mama Africa me. wa tó kágbé lárugẹ tiwa ní. Samba, we are the pride of Africa. Oh yeah, ẹgbẹ́ lárugẹ tiwa ní. Ẹgbẹ́ lárugẹ tiwa ní. Ẹgbẹ́ lárugẹ tiwa ní. Ẹgbẹ́ lárugẹ tiwa ní.
Ẹgbẹ́ lárugẹ tiwa ní. Ẹgbẹ́ lárugẹ tiwa ní. Ẹgbẹ́ lárugẹ tiwa ní. Ẹgbẹ́ lárugẹ tiwa ní.
We are the pride of Africa. Oh yeah, sokuru hani hominani kaibunia yelele nkakeji mara hai kaibunia yelele.
Òkè-Gàjòkè Vicinity 95.3 FM Ìkejì Ilé Ìjẹ̀ṣà orí òkè téńté la wà.
ọjọ́ ayé mi ire ni ó mọ̀ kó dọ́jọ́ alẹ́ mi ire ni ó mọ̀ rí torí àwa níyà ohun rere ó ti kórè ń bọ̀ àwa níyàwó ó ti kórè dé ọjọ́ ayé mi ire ni ó mọ̀ kó dọ́jọ́
Jímojí
ire ni ó
lónìí èrè mojí.
àwa níyàwó ohun rere ó ti kórè
Dìde fúyà mi lórí ibi tí mo sùn.
ó ti kórè
Ó gbọ́nra jìgì owó ọlá ọrọ̀ fàdákà òun dúkìá olówó iyebíye mo bá tò.
jí mo jí lò ní òmò òun rebi sẹ́mi jẹ́rìíṣẹ́ àjẹsẹ̀ òwò agbére kò mí òwò àjèjì ń gbére pàdé olóko
Ara gágá báyìí là ń bẹ̀rẹ̀.
wá èyí tí ń gbére pàdé ọlọ́ṣà
Ẹnìkan ìbọ̀kùnrin ẹyẹ lórí yìí.
rà wá níyàwó
Akójúmọ́ akọ́lá Jímọ̀ gbogbo bíi tẹ́ ẹ ti ń gbọ́ káàkiri àgbáyé.
ọjọ́ ayé mi ire ni ó máa
Káàbọ̀ sórí ètò yín ètò wa ìdíyelé orí ọjà.
rí rà wá níyàwó ohun rere ó ti kó.
Níbí la ti ń ṣe àgbéyẹ̀wò àwọn iye tí owó orí ọjà bá dì káàkiri àgbáyé àti agbègbè lónìí bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti ilẹ̀ òkèèrè wá. Lókọ lóòtú ètò yìí ìyá Adéṣọlá Sàlẹ̀ lókọ Kàbíò Kọmọlá náà mo tún fi kí wa pé a kó ojúmọ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ilẹ̀ tó mọ́ lónìí. Àwa tá a bá fẹ́ ṣe káràkátà dọ́là owó ilẹ̀ òkèèrè bóyá ẹ fẹ́ ta tàbí ẹ fẹ́ ṣe. Bẹ́yìn bá fẹ́ ṣe dọ́là báyìí ẹ máa ṣe sí ọgọ́jọ náírà ó tún lé àbí ẹgbẹ̀jọ náírà ó lé náírà márùn-ún sí 1,605 naira. Wá jẹ́ pé ẹ̀yin wá fẹ́ rà á bá ẹ̀yin fẹ́ tà á. Bá fẹ́ ta ẹ̀ ta níbi ẹgbẹ̀rún igba mẹ́jọ náírà ó tún wálé náírà mẹ́ẹ̀ẹ́dógún sí 1,615 naira. Ẹ̀yin wá fẹ́ wo ti pound ẹ̀yin òun owó tilẹ̀ Gẹ̀ẹ́sì. Bá jẹ́ pé pound níbẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ yín ẹ̀yin ó máa tà níbi ẹgbẹ̀rún méjì ó tún wálé bíi àádóje náírà kàmọ̀ sí 2,130 naira. Wá jẹ́ pé ẹ̀yin wá fẹ́ tà ẹ̀ tà ní bíi ẹgbẹ̀rún méjì ó lé ní ọgọ́jọ náírà àti náírà márùn-ún kàmọ̀ sí 2,165 naira. Euro lẹ́yìn ní lọ́wọ́ àbí ẹ wá fẹ́ ṣẹ́ tẹ̀yìn wá bá fẹ́ ṣe àbẹ́ fẹ́ tà fún yàn.
àwa níyàwó ohun rere ó ti kórè ń bọ̀ àwa ní.
Ó jẹ́ bíi ọ̀rìnléní bíi ẹgbẹ̀rún kan ó tó wá lé ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ̀rin àti náírà àádọ́rin náírà àmọ́ sí 1,770 naira. Tó bá jẹ́ pé ẹ̀yin wá fẹ́ tà báyìí bíi ẹgbẹ̀sán náírà ni.
Elédùà sàmbà.
Jẹ́ 1,800 naira. Ẹ já wo pàṣípàrọ̀ kìrìrà títà kòkó ní ọ̀dọ̀ tí wá ń bí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìwòye ṣe fi yé ni àti ìwádìí. Tá a bá ta kílò kòkó kan a máa ta níbi ẹgbẹ̀rún mẹ́sàn-án sí ẹgbẹ̀rún mẹ́wàá dín ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ̀ta náírà tá a mọ̀ sí 9,000 between 9,000 naira to 9,500 naira per kilo. Kílò kòkó nù jà síbẹ̀ iná. Mo ń bọ̀ gbogbo ara mo fún mi.
ọjọ́ ayé mi ire ni ó mọ̀ kó dọ́jọ́ alẹ́ mi.
Àwọn bá jẹ́ pé bíi tọ́n kòkó bí a ṣe mọ̀ pé ìka ò dọ́gba ìka yàtọ̀ síra wọn. Tó bá jẹ́ pé lápá ọ̀dọ̀ wa bí pàápàá láti bí ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo Abia àwọn tí wọ́n ń lékè níbi tí kòkó ti gbé wọn tó ti rọ̀ṣọ̀mù dáadáa jùlọ ni. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá fẹ́ ta tọ́ọ̀nù kòkó kan báyìí lágbàáyé gẹ́gẹ́ bí
wọ́n ṣe fi yé ni pé ó kéré tán tọ́ọ̀nù kòkó kan ẹ máa ní ẹni wọ́n máa ta níbi mílíọ̀nù 15 náírà tá a mọ̀ sí 15 million naira.
Rawaniya o Rawaniya.
ó tẹ̀ jẹ́ pé wọ́n ní ó gbẹ́nu lókè wọ́n ló tún lè yá kó lọ bí 12 million naira ìyún mílíọ̀nù 12 tọ́ọ̀nù kòkó kan ní.
Ajẹsẹ̀ òkú agbére kò
ní
ní.
àwọn ìpínlẹ̀ bíi Ondo, Abia àtàwọn mìíràn
Pàdé
ó
o
ṣe pé kòkó wọn ní nọ́mbà 1 káàkiri àgbáyé.
mèrè pàdé
wọ́n
ọlọ́sà.
ní tó bá jẹ́ pé bí irú àwọn ìpínlẹ̀ Taraba tó ṣe pé àwọn náà ló tún ń pọwọ́lé wọn díẹ̀díẹ̀.
O bá ń béèrè wá.
onítẹ̀yìn bá fẹ́ ta àpò kg yún 100 kg ó kàn dí díẹ̀ náírà bíi ẹgbẹ̀rún 50 náírà ní mílíọ̀nù kan tẹ́ ta 100 kg ẹyọ̀kan ní.
Rawaniya o ó ti kórè dé.
bákan náà ẹ̀wẹ̀wẹ̀ tó bá jẹ́ pẹ̀yìn wá fẹ́ ra àwọn ọjà wọn ìdíyelé òun fi yé ni pé wọ́n ní àpò ráìsì eléyìí tó jẹ́ ráìsì gígùn èyí tá à ń pè ní long grain foreign rice wọ́n ní tẹ́ ẹ bá fẹ́ rà 50 kg ẹ̀ máa rà ní 82,000 naira sí 85,000 naira ẹ̀yìn ẹgbẹ̀rún 22 tàbí 55.
Mo rí ọjọ́ ayé mi rẹ̀ ni ó máa kú.
wọ́n ní bó bá jẹ́ pé àwọn ráìsì eléyìí tí ó gùn tán bá kó wá láti ilẹ̀ òkèèrè 50 kg ẹ̀
Àwa ní
50 kg wọ́n ní ẹ̀ máa rà níbi kódà wọ́n ní ẹ̀ máa rà níbi ẹgbẹ̀rún 55 sí ẹgbẹ̀rún 57 náírà. ilé ìtàmọ̀ sí between 65,000 naira to 67,000 naira
ìrànṣẹ́ ayé mi.
per bag 50 kg bag
Iná jẹ́
short grain rice.
àmúlẹ̀ wá o. Mo bá ṣe lò.
wọ́n ló bá jẹ́ pé ìrẹsì tá a bá ń pèsè lọ́dọ̀ wa lábẹ́lé ń gbé eléyìí tá à ń pè ní local parboil rice
Kórè
wọ́n ní 50 kg
ti jú.
a máa rà á níbi ẹgbẹ̀rún 99 náírà wọ́n lò ní wọ́n ń ta tẹ́lẹ̀ àmọ́ nísìnyí wọ́n ló ti wá di bí ẹgbẹ̀rún 90 náírà sí ẹgbẹ̀rún 100
Wájú ni wọ́n.
ní láàárín 90,000 naira sí 100,000 naira.
Ọjọ́ ayé mi rẹ̀ ni ó
mílẹ̀tì lẹ́yìn fẹ́ rà wọ́n ní bóyá rọ́bà ẹyọ̀kan
máa
kì í ṣe 4 litre
wá níyàwó.
ẹ máa rà ní tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ àmọ́ wọ́n rà ní bí 4,500 èyí ẹgbẹ̀rún 5,500 náírà àmọ́ nísìnyí wọ́n lè máa rà ní ẹgbẹ̀rún 4 tàmà sí 4,000 naira.
Láìka
gíní kan lẹ́yìn fẹ́ rà
ó bá ń
wọ́n ní 4 litre ike tó jẹ́ 4 litres wọ́n ní ẹ máa rà ní bí 4,000 naira báyìí.
dùwà.
soya beans lẹ́yìn fẹ́ rà bí tẹ bá fẹ́ ra soya beans 4 litre soya beans wọ́n ní ẹ máa rà báyìí ní ẹgbẹ̀rún 6 náírà tá a mà sí 6,000 naira. fẹ́ ra wheat 4 litres wheat wọ́n ní ẹ máa rà ní bí 5,000 naira yín ẹgbẹ̀rún 5 báyìí.
Ọjọ́ ayé mi ire ni ó mọ̀ kó.
àmì àkórè lónìí.
Lẹ́mi ire ni ó mọ̀ rí. Torí àwa ni ìyá ohun rere ó ti kórè ń bọ̀.
wọ́n ní bó bá jẹ́ pé ike àgbàdo pupa lẹ́yìn fẹ́ rà tá a mà sí yellow dry corn bó jẹ́ òun lẹ fẹ́ rà wọ́n ní 4 litres ike tó máa fi wọn 4 litres yẹn tẹ́ ẹ bá fẹ́ rà wọ́n ló jẹ́ 3,000 naira.
Ire ni ó máa rí. Àwa ni ìyá ohun rere ó ti kórè ń bọ̀. Àwa ni
ẹ jẹ́ àwa wo ẹ̀wà ńkọ́ tá a mà sí beans. wọ́n ní bó jẹ́ pé dèríkà eléyìí ṣe mọ̀ pé dèríkà yìí ó wọ́pọ̀ dáadáa nípínlẹ̀ Èkó àti àwọn apá ilẹ̀ Haúsá.
ní ó mọ̀.
tó ṣe pé tẹ́ ẹ bá fẹ́ wọ́n fi ń wọ́n ni wọ́n ní tẹ́ ẹ bá fẹ́ ra ẹyọ̀kan báyìí.
Àjẹsẹ̀ òkú agbére kò mí.
ilé lè máa ra níbi 1,000 naira tàbí kẹ́ máa ra ní 1,400 naira tàbí 1,500.
Tí ń mèrè pàdé
ó
ọlọ́sà.
ní í ṣe pẹ̀lú bí èèyàn bá ṣe máa ń násà àti ọwọ́ ẹni tó bá pàdé. tó bá jí pé iṣu lẹ́yìn wá fẹ́ rà wọ́n ní ìwọ̀n eku ni ìwọ̀n ìtẹ́ ni ọ̀rọ̀ iṣu ṣe jẹ́ bí ọwọ́ eku bá sì ṣe máa ní ṣe fi ẹ rí àwọn iṣu míì báyìí bíi túbà tá a mọ̀ sí dẹ̀sùn kan kúnkùnkún báyìí ni bíi ti sweet potato ni ó ṣe àwọn ẹ̀sùn míì ẹ̀ sì rí tó tóbi ẹyọ̀kan ẹ̀ gbogbo mọ̀lẹ́bí lè máa fẹ́ jẹ́ wọ́n níbi tẹ́ẹ̀tì rí ìsùn míì ilé kan bíi 5 tubers tẹ́ẹ̀tì rí ní bíi 7,000 ẹ lè rí mi kan sọ pé 20,000 naira. ẹ̀yin wá fẹ́ ra gàrí pupa gàrí elépo tẹ́yìn bá fẹ́ ra bíi kẹ̀ wọ́n ní ẹ̀ máa ra ní báyìí wọ́n ní èèyàn lè máa ra ike gàrí pupa ní bíi 4,000 sí 4,500 àmọ́ bó wá jẹ́ pé gàrí funfun lẹ́yìn fẹ́ wọ́n lè yìn wọ́n tó bíi 4,350 kìíní kan sí 4,000 léèyàn lè ríra bẹ́ẹ̀.
ọjọ́ ayé mi rẹ ni ó máa kú ọjọ́
tòmátì ń kọ́
rẹ ni ó máa rí àwa níyàwó
tòmátì yìí ṣẹ̀mọ̀ pé bí ọwọ́ eku bá tún ṣe mọ́ ni torí pé
wá níyàwó
a ní apẹ̀rẹ̀ kékeré a sì ní ńlá
òrèdè
ẹ lè rí mi kan lè sọ fún yín pé bí a bí 20,000 ni o gbà míì
wàrà òsì
wọ́n tẹ̀ ní àwọn míì gan ó lè máa lọ bí 100,000 tó máa di ìdíyelé rẹ̀ pa wọ́n ní bó bá ṣe tóbi sí àti bí ìgbéléwọ̀n ẹ̀ bá ṣe rí.
mo bá ṣe lò ní ojú
ìwé fi yé ni pé tá a bá ń wo 10 kg semovita báyìí
mo ti jú
tàbí semonina
ewé ọ̀gẹ̀
ẹni tẹ́ bá fẹ́ rà wọ́n ló kéré tán ẹ máa sọ ẹ máa níbi ẹgbẹ̀rún méjìdínlógún tàbí ẹgbẹ̀rún mẹ́tàdínlógún sí ẹgbẹ̀rún lọ́nà ogún náírà
Wájú ló-
lọ sí 20,000 between 17, 18 to 20,000 naira ṣáà ní.
wá níyà mi tí bá ń béèrè wá ọjọ́
ó wá fẹ́ ra jẹ̀ríkàn òróró jẹ̀ríkàn òróró báyìí wọ́n ló kéré tán èèyàn fẹ́ lè máa ní bíi ẹgbẹ̀rún lọ́nà ọgọ́rùn-ún ó dín díẹ̀ o
rẹ̀ ń bọ̀
sí bíi 95,000 naira àbò
tí kò rè
ẹ fẹ́ máa rí jẹ̀ríkàn òróró rà
wá níyàwó
tó bá sì wá jẹ́ ti epo pupa lẹ́yìn fẹ́ rà wọ́n ló kéré tán ẹ máa ní bíi 40,000 naira àbò
rí wá
ẹ lè ríra lẹ́sẹ̀ kúkú ni ò kì í ṣàwọn ìlú ńláńlá o. èyí wá fẹ́ ra ẹ̀pà tútù fẹ̀rẹ̀fẹ̀rẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ òní kàmá sí groundnut fresh groundnut wọ́n ní èyí fẹ́ ra ike tó jẹ́ 4 litres ẹ̀ máa ra níbi ẹgbẹ̀rún mẹ́jọ náírà kàmá sí 8,000 naira tàbí ó dídé.
òyìnbó
bí ó ṣe lọ lónìí rèé lórí ètò ìdíyelé bí orí ọjà ṣe rí lónìí tẹ́ẹ̀bà tún gbàdúrà tó di ọjọ́ ajé lórúkọ gbogbo àwọn àtàjọ ṣètò náà papọ̀ lórúkọ ìyí adéṣọlá salami kàbí ọkọ ọmọláfẹ́ abdul fatah agiwa lórúkọ tèmi láì dínà pẹ́nu ní nígbà tí n bá dìde fúyà báyìí the next program on our program slot is newspaper review with olúwafúnkẹ́ israel stay tuned.
wá níyàwó ó ti kò rè dé ọjọ́ ayé mi rè ni ó máa kú ọjọ́ alẹ́ mi rè ni ó máa rí àwa níyàwó rere ó ti kò rè ń bọ̀ àwa níyàwó ó ti kò rè dé ràwa níyàwó ràwa níyà jíjí mojí lò ní òmò òwúrẹ́ ibiṣẹ́ mi ẹ̀ríṣẹ́ àjẹsẹ̀ òwú agbére kò mí o.
We lead while others follow. We lead while others follow. Vicinity FM 95.3. We lead while others follow. Àwa làgbà wọn. We lead while others follow. Aṣíwájú ni wá o. Vicinity FM àwa ní bàbá. We lead while others follow. We lead while others follow. Vicinity FM ní kejìlẹ̀ o. We lead while others follow. Àwa lọ̀gá o. We lead while others follow. Adìẹ funfun àwa ṣá ní bàbá gbogbo. Àwa ní bàbá. Vicinity FM 95.3. Ẹranko tí ó ṣe bí olólàájú kò sí nígbó àjíkẹ́ adé. Erin lákàtà gbérin àwa gòkè á lọ. Ìyẹ́lẹ̀ ó máa wò lẹ́yìn ẹyẹ wa. Lọ́jọ́kọjọ́ nígbàkúgbà bàbá ni bàbá ń jẹ́. Lọ́jọ́kọjọ́ nígbàkúgbà bàbá ni bàbá ń ṣe. We lead while others follow. We lead while others follow. Vicinity FM ọ̀gálàjẹ́ Adéọlá Noite ló ní ẹ̀ máa gbọ́. Mo fọwọ́ ẹ̀ sọ̀yà. We lead while others follow. Vicinity FM àwa ní bàbá. We lead while others follow. Àwa lọ̀gá àwa làgbà wọn lọ́jọ́kọ́jọ́. 95.3 Vicinity FM tọmọdé tàgbà darúgbó tómi dán ló sọ pa wá ní. We lead while others follow. We lead while others follow. Vicinity FM àwa ní bàbá. Vicinity 95.3 FM ìkejì ilé ọ̀tọ̀ nìkan láàrin òkúta ayàtọ̀ sí wọn jọ̀ọ́jọ̀ọ́.
Enjoy.
There's always something about Friday. It gets the best of the smile because the weekend is upon us. It's newspaper review on your darling station, Vicinity 95.3 FM, where we'll bring you all the top headlines on our dailies today and the details of these stories. Do well to join the conversation this morning. You know, you can follow us on Facebook at Vicinity 95.3 FM and YouTube. A good ride this morning. And you can join us on Radio Garden as well and listen on Vicinity 95.3 FM. And before me this morning is the Vanguard newspaper, Punch, Nigerian Tribune, Daily Trust, and The Guardian. Finally, the conclave eventually elected the Pope, Catholic Pope. Another journey begins in the Catholic movement. You know, since Wednesday, there's been this vote, and when you see a black smoke, they say that shows it's inconclusive. Eventually, now we can rest from this one, and we hope the new Pope, you know, brings message of light, peace, and calling on nations at war, you know, to be at peace and making a difference that will turn the faithful, Christian faithful, and even beyond, you know, the Christian community, turn it around in love and peace, because we need a lot of this. Yeah, we need plenty of love and peace this season. On the front page of The Guardian, Discos records 78% collection efficiency despite supply hiccups. 2027, disquietest Abgas Ludo adopt Tinubu. Abga committed to Tinubu's re-election. Bianca Ojukwu adopting Tinubu perfidious. Chekwas Okorie. Gunmen blocked Owerri Okigwe Road, killed travelers. Burn several vehicles. Senate standstill for late Edwin Clark. Tinubu, Trump will be ill Prevost on emergence as Pope. Picks Leo 14 as papal name US Pope. An honor, says Trump. New chapter in the history of Catholic Church. Tinubu will be Lord's College of Cardinals on new Pope. Conference Hall. Experts to brainstorm on government performance at midterm. On sports, under 20 Afghan Flying Eagles coach vows to clinch World Cup ticket as they battle Senegal in quarter-final. Tinubu commissions projects in Anambra. These are the top stories on Vanguard newspaper. On the front page of The Punch, Tinubu, Trump, world leaders congratulate American Pope. Now I see why Trump, is excited about this, because the Pope is from America, the U.S. Nigeria taps additional $215 million World Bank loan for palliative. 2027, Alamakura, Masari mobilize CPC block for Tinubu. Defense headquarters links foreign herdsmen to Benue, Plateau killings. Refitting and repainting newly acquired presidential jets flown to South Africa. Tinubu using leased aircraft for foreign local travels. LP crisis. Akpabio taunts Obi as OT demands Abure's arrest. Wigwe U.S. helicopter firm may face criminal charges. LP vows to defeat APC in Lagos local government poll. UK police recover Nigerian teenagers' corpse inside lake. Marketers warn FG against ST fuel imports ban. Now to Nigerian Tribune, Senate passes 2 remaining tax reform bills to go into conference with reps. Security summits refrain from needless comments. Senate cautions defense minister. Awo's 38th memorial anniversary and paid patronal service holds today in Ikene. Foreign headers behind attacks on communities, defense headquarters. 2025 UTME results consistent with 12 years trend. JAMB, Awoshu attained 7th position in national examination rating at Deleke. Tariff hike, Nigeria's internet users decline. NCC reports. Reps invite Finance Minister, CBN Governor orders over non-payment of contractors since 2025. Pope Leo XIV's era begins. How Robert Francis Provost, first American Pope, emerged. Well, this is historical. He is the first American Pope. Well, we hope that at this point you get to bring us plenty of first things, like you are making a difference out there. Soludo says ABGA has adopted Tinubu for 2027 as president's defense economic reforms. Tinubu seeks confirmation of nominees for regional commissions. Adetumbi to chair Southwest, Moche to chair South-South. 2027, defunct CPC chieftains, Abbas, Niger, Katsina governors, Al-Makura, others pledge loyalty to Tinubu. Now to Daily Trust. Soludo backs Tinubu for 2027, says APGA, APC ideological allies. Despite clearing $3.4 billion COVID-19 loan, Nigeria still owes IMF 119 billion naira. Katsina Governor elders bicker over president's visit. How poor power supply is affecting health care. And high expectations as Provost emerges Pope. Reps give Benue Zamfara governors ultimatum to honor summons. Northwest Development Commission cancels foreign scholarship scheme. Mothers relieve final moment of 5 kids who died in abandoned vehicle. So the children who died in that abandoned vehicle from the same parents. Sad. And move to the Guardian newspaper. Senate passes tax reform bills, meets reps for final draft. I will not step down for false allegations, says embattled Akpabio. Usman led LP committee suspends Abure Farouk for 6 months. Anambra Abga Obi's kinsman endorsed Tinubu for second term. Okay, yeah, I see what's going on there. You know, Obi is a presidential candidate in 2023 general elections. He's from Anambra State. He hails from that state. And yesterday, President Bola Tinubu visited Anambra, to commission some of the legacy projects by Governor Charles Soludo. He is the president. And we all want to see infrastructure, government putting all their best and committing to the people by giving us and providing infrastructure. And when something like this happens, it sees the government sometimes we want, the leader at the federal level, to come see what they're doing. And at this point, the president was even given a chieftaincy title. What's that thing again? It's just something embassy, meaning a man who is not from this land but honored by this land and all of that. And now, Obi, they're not saying it's Obi Kingsman endorsing Tinubu for second term. Okay. Pope Leo 14 hopeful of building bridges with dialogue in turbulent land. Would love to see that. Greek collapses, 4 trillion naira debt stall Nigeria's transition to competitive market. Assembly crisis, House of Reps issues Benue and federal governors a weak ultimatum. Insecurity, Nigeria will change when leaders are ready, says experts. The top stories on the Guardian newspaper. Welcome back. It's good to know you're here on Newspaper Review on your dial station, visiting 95.3 FM, and I'll begin with the details of the stories on the Guardian newspaper. Senate President Akpabio slams Peter Obi for saying Nigeria heroes labored in vain. A Senate valedictory session on Thursday in honor of the late elder statesman Chief Edwin Clark recorded a dramatic twist as Senate President Godswill Akpabio slammed a presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 election, Peter Obi, for declaring that the labor of our fallen heroes are in vain. Obi had lamented during Clark's memorial lecture on Wednesday that the labor of our heroes past and now in vain. He said, somebody like me who had just been part of the 2023 general election lived a life of courage, said Clark lived a life of courage, a life of sacrifice, a life of justice, a life that is valued. I watched that memorial lecture, and of course, Peter Obi did say that the labor of our heroes is in vain. He made that very clear. That given all of the years we have put into democracy, and we are still at this stage, of course, people will start to lose hope. At this point, I think that for someone who is in a position where a lot of people look up to him, well, somehow we should make our criticism very constructive. But at the same time, we are humans, we have feelings, and sometimes this word drops. The way we feel at the moment that this is just what it is, and we have it out there. Well, the Senate President decided to jump in on this one. They decided to honor later Edwin Clark, at plenary and said, no, the labor of our heroes are not in vain. Well, you have to prove it to us. That's another thing. Our leaders will have to prove it to us. The leaders we have now who knows that there was a time we had heroes who really were committed to building this nation. And you have to show us that you are even leading that path and you want to do better than what they did. So it's not just in the words. It should be in the works at this point. And, Peter Obi said what he said. But at this time, I just think that, if we are in position of leadership, we should be very constructive with whatever we put there, because somehow some people will read it the other way around. Sometimes things just you just flip it and you'll be confused that, is this what I said? On this story, greed collapses, 4 trillion naira debt stalled Nigeria's transition to competitive market. Nigeria's ambition to transit its electricity sector into a fully competitive bilateral market is faltering as systemic weaknesses, including an unreliable national grid, a staggering 4 trillion naira market debt, and unclear regulatory pathways stalled the market. About 11 years after the privatization of the power sector, the Nigerian Electricity Regulation Commission, in its most assertive step last year, issued a market order mandating that electricity distribution companies, DISCOs, assume full responsibility for tariff setting and power procurement within 60 days. Story is on The Guardian newspaper. Usman-led LP committee suspends Abure Farouk for 6 months. A Senator Nenadi Usman-led Labour Party National Caretaker Committee has announced the suspension of former national chairman and secretary of the party, Julius Abure and Farouk Umar, for 6 months. This was after 3 LP members of the House of Representatives dismissed a purported suspension from the party, describing it as laughable and a desperate attempt by a dethroned emperor to cling to power. Okay, Labour Party, get your act together. At this point, somehow people have faith in this party, but beyond party, people had faith in the candidate that was a flag bearer in the 2023 general elections. And now, see the turbulence in Labour Party. Somehow you just think, all these parties just mirror the same thing. Some people just have their act together better than others. And because we're all here in Nigeria and see how things, play out in this party. Recently, Abure-led faction. What is this led faction? Having 15 chairman in a party. Okay, that's exaggerated, but I would say they don't have 15 chairman. But here, Nenadi Usman. Abure said Nenadi was never a member of the party. He only supported Obi during the 2023 election, so she was just a support system. And now she's claiming she's a strong member of the party and trying to, assume leadership. And even now, they're saying that Abure has been suspended. And let's not forget, just a few days ago, Abure and, some National Executive Committee decided to suspend Governor Oti. And House of National Assembly members, including Ireti Kinigbe, and all of that. And now you hear, okay, Julius Abure himself has been suspended. So who is even in charge? Who can suspend and not suspend? Party members over anti-party, over involvement in their involvement in party activities. And now you hear Julius Abure, who suspended, some members, now he's been suspended by Nenadi. And Julius, outrightly stated that Nenadi Usman was never a member of the party. She just supported, during the presidential election. Well, somebody's supporting during the presidential election, and is parading herself as a member of the party. If there is a way, you get to be official, that makes you, a member of the party officially. She's done that. But at this time, I don't see what's the. But now, who is the leader, Gongo, of Labour Party? Now it seems as if we don't even know where this party is going. But at the same time, we just see that, these parties just have, they all have conflicts within. It's just somehow the ruling party is trying to, put it together and seeing people defect. But at the same time, let's not forget the ruling party itself. It's not them. It's not a glory land. At the end of the day, they all have their issues too. It's just them. They're putting it together. All these parties, trying to form coalition. Labour has already stated that they are not interested in forming any coalition. They are a standalone party, and that's what will be until 2027. But get your act together, because at this time, opposition, you're kind of losing your grounds, and you should get your act together. It's important if we really want to have, a level playing field and give every, party opportunity. But right now, the way all of these opposition are going about, see, you hear of SDP, NNPP, PDP, Labour Party. All of you should get your act together. If you're forming a coalition, it's your decision. If you're not, if you're doing a standalone, do it, and then get your act together. Because everyone is saying, oh, we don't want, the country. Recently, former President Goodluck Jonathan saying the way it's looking, the country is turning into a one-party system. But other parties do not even have their acts right. So why would people think it's only the ruling or progressive Congress at the top that's getting their act together? All of you should get your act together and do what's needful. Still on The Guardian, APC slams Itomi for liking Nigeria's democracy to Hitler's Nazi Germany. Story is on The Guardian. The ruling All Progressives Congress has slammed Professor Pat Itomi for liking Nigeria's democracy experience to fascist conditions in Adolf Hitler's Nazi Germany. A statement by its National Publicity Secretary, Felix Moka, described the approximation as reckless, irresponsible, and insensitive and beneath a man of Itomi's standing. APC stated that the announcement of a shadow government by Itomi is a categorical demonstration of impunity of opposition actors and the high tolerance of dissent by the Tinubu's administration. Okay, at this time, like I said, comments can be made. People will surely, criticize. At this point, when we're in the position of leadership, our criticism should be something that will not further, cause a sense of, how do I say this now? Promote disunity. At this point, we're still hoping that, things are well organized before the 2027 election. And now we see all that's happening on the political scene out there, and we kind of wonder if things are already getting heated like this. Conversations and discussions are already heated to this level, and what do we expect to see in 2026 and beyond? But this is not to cause fear. This is just saying people should just reduce. Just recently, Kano State government decided, to stop any form of political discussion on radio or television, saying, see, we don't want anything that will incite violence. So you radio stations and TV, we are banning you for now. No any discussion on political, issues and all of that. But there is a clause to it saying, okay, if you want to even have any discussion on any political issues or whatever, please make sure you don't say something that will incite violence, and you must sign an undertaking. I'm like, so if I have to go to or go on a radio station, go to a radio station, go on air, and have to speak, there will be something I cannot say. And you will understand that they're just trying to see that, people Do not just, make comments or put out something out there that will, further derail, the populace, and then people will just, start to act in a kind of way. And at this point, so that's not a democratic government. If you know the story of Hitler very well, but at this point, we should just relax with these comments, because all we want is peace, and peace is what we deserve in this country. We've had enough and of all this comments here and there, inciting discussions that will not even allow us concentrate on the most important thing, which is growth, development. Peace is essential for every country that has a future. And I know Nigeria, we have a better future ahead of us. It's just we need to put in the work. And now to Daily Trust. On Daily Trust this morning, electricity. How electricity crisis, our power supply is affecting healthcare. There's no doubt that we need power to provide, good health care, and poor power supply to health facilities across the country, subjecting patients and their families to untold hardship, worsening health conditions, and resulting in loss of lives. The power crisis is halting healthcare deliveries, especially surgeries and antenatal services. Patients told Daily Trust that they had their tests and treatments, including surgeries, delayed and postponed owing to power shortage in hospitals. This even as health facilities, including tertiary hospitals, are battling huge electricity debts, with their management saying that despite paying those bills, they still have to source for funds to provide alternative power. Are you kidding? Well, it's not today we've heard, patients at this health facility saying they have to even contribute to how to source for, provide alternative power. Of course, if you are to be treated and medical personnel who were to attend to you say no power, so how are we going to help us so we can do this thing for you? They have to. He is going to transform. They'll start using renewable energy at. I wanted to say White House. Forgotten that ours is not White House, at Aso Rock Villa, and saying, well, hospitals and schools will be the next on board. Now transforming from normal electricity supply to renewable energy, so that it will be able to sustain, health facilities in the country. Well, I hope they jump on this soon, because it's not funny. In schools we can manage. Nobody will die if there is no electricity. I get that, but still, it's essential that students have access to electricity. But let's compare it to healthcare. Healthcare, it's more crucial to have electricity provided, in the healthcare system, because they need this to do a lot of things. It's important. I think they should fast track, that project on time, knowing fully well that this will further improve, healthcare in our facilities, and also reduce, mortality rates. It's important. This story is on the Daily Trust, the newspaper. Note that you can join the conversation this morning. Call us on 081-3237-1268. And there are comments on our Facebook page. We'll come right back to it. And now on the Pope. High expectations as Prevost emerges Pope. Robert Francis Prevost became the first Pope from the United States on Thursday. He chose the papal name Leo XIV after cardinals from around the world elected him leader of the world's 1.4 billion Catholics. Tens of thousands of people packed in St. Peter's Square cheered as Prevost appeared on the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica, waving with both hands, smiling and bowing, with smoke from the Sistine Chapel had billowed into the sky on the Cardinal's second day of voting to announce his election in a secret conclave, while the bells of St. Peter Basilica and churches across Rome rang out. Crowds of people rush towards the square to watch the balcony of the basilica, which has been fitted out with red curtains for the first address to the world by the 267th Pope. Provost is the 267th Pope. Well, at this time, we're glad that eventually the election is here and then a new Pope has emerged. We pray that, his time as the Pope, Provost, time as the Pope, get to contribute to peace. His rule is something that we will have to talk about, like Pope Francis, who has always contribute to saying that, peace is gained in these nations, troubled nations where there are war. Well, Provost, we expect so much from you, whether you're from America or wherever. It's not all that matters. It's the service to the people and the church that truly would matter. I will go on Facebook page to take comments. From Sir Julius Olegna says, good morning. On Obi and the labor of our heroes past, blame every Nigeria for where we have found ourselves. Who truncated the first generation of democracy leadership in Nigeria? Who turned Nigeria to a unitary government? What did the successive leaders build on the intermediate leadership? What are the current politicians, including Obi, building on it? Naturally, there are bound to be crises. What is important is to provide solution. What solution is Obi providing? Nothing except he becomes the president. Selfishness can never move Nigeria forward. For me, the labor of our heroes past are not in vain. Let every, I'll come to that statement, let every Nigeria work to make things better. Happy weekend. Still from Sir Julius Legner says the crisis in Labour Party is also reflecting the weakness of Peter Obi to pull together diverse interests in a small party. He should first work to solve his party's crisis. Nigerians should be made to understand that after election, governance follows. We must create a culture of offering constructive criticism and working towards the success of our government at various levels. Great points raised there. So all of us will not be president. Like I will always say, some people will never be president, and that does not stop you from being great. We can all be great in our little way. I never want to be president, and maybe someday I may be president of something, maybe not president of a country, but president of something in my little way. The most important thing is service. It's just that sometimes we like, to seek this position because of what it brings. We know power will always bring attention to you. It put the spotlight on you, and then we just want that position. But what are you going to do with that position? And that's why we always talk about politics, playing politics and being in governance. Are we there to govern, or we're there to play politics? We're just there because, yes, I want to, make it in my family history. Make sure my family history have this thing that we became president in my family. But what is that bringing? What are you bringing beyond you becoming a president? So it's not just about the position, it's what you do with this position. And we all cannot be presidents. We only can have one president at a time. In a nation where we have about 200 million people, trust me, 10% of the population will never make it to presidency. It's not a lie until the world goes away. Now that we still have the world, we don't know when it's going to end and all of that. But I tell you, 10% of us will never make it to the position of the presidency. So that tells you that all of us will not be presidents. But in whatever way we can serve, to make this country a better place, we should do it. We don't have to be president, to contribute our quota, to the nation and to preserve what needs to be preserved, especially the labor of our heroes past. Name them: Edwin Clark, Ayo Adebanjo. People left the world in February, and we can not deny that they did, raise their voice at the time it mattered and speak true to governance. And at this point, they've done theirs and they're no more here. The labor of our heroes, it's not in vain, no. It's just that we must build on it. because if we are neglecting all of their labor and saying we want to do it our own way, well, it's now on to us to know what is right and what we should do. Like I said, we all will not become president, but we can contribute, to the good of this country by the decisions we make, by the things we do out there. And then service is not until you are in a position of leadership. Even as a follower, you can serve, and it's important that we understand this, so we know that we all have a role to play in bringing this nation to the position we want to see it. And now to the Punch newspaper. Insecurity, don't speed. Senate against Tinubu, Akpabio wants minister. A Senate leadership on Thursday cautioned the Minister of Defense, Mohammed Baduru, against making public statements that could create friction between the National Assembly and the executive led by President Bola Tinubu. The warning came after Baduru publicly dismissed the planned two-day National Security Summit by the Senate, stating that such gatherings were unnecessary in addressing Nigeria's security challenges. Speaking at plenary, Senate President Godswill Akpabio and Senate Leader Opeyemi Bamidele criticized the minister's comments, warning that such remarks could undermine legislative initiatives and strain relationships with the presidency. So if you remember, Baduru at the ministerial briefing organized by the Minister of Information, Muhammad Idris, Baduru said, armed forces were already better equipped, because the Senate also made the comments that the way it is going, it's like the armed group we have in this country possess more firepower than the military. That statement also is something that the Minister of Defense can hold on to and say, why will you say such a thing? Are you in the ministry? Do you know what's obtainable there? Do you see, have you seen our armory? So do you have, information on what is it, our intelligence? So why would you, say military intelligence? You are not the first-hand man here, and you make a comment like that. That's why we should be very careful with the way we're throwing comments here and there. All these banters will not help. And at this point, the Minister of Defense also felt, disappointed by the comment of the Senate, saying that armed groups possess more firepower than the military, and this should not be. The Minister of Defense came out to say it's impossible. In as much as we hear now that armed groups now possess drones, and then they make explosive IED, and then they can do whatever the military is doing. But at this point, the Minister of Defense said that's impossible. They might possess all these things, but it's not greater than what the military, have. And Baduru also mentioned that instead of constituting a two-day national summit on security, calling everybody, state governments, come, we want to have a meeting on how we can solve our, the security issue in this country. Let's come and sit down. And you know how much it will take us to, we will spend on that, national summit. Let's come, we want to discuss how we are going to take this country forward. Are they experts in the field? We should bring generals, retired generals, experts in the field, and this should be something, security is a big deal. It's a big deal, and this should even happen. It should happen behind closed doors. It's not something that we put out there like summits, like we're going to sell Guguru and Ekpa, and beyond that, it's also, something that we want to find, profound solutions to the insecurity situation in the country. I think this should be something that should be planned by the Ministry of Defense and other stakeholders in that sector. Why National Assembly might be concerned, of course, they make laws. They should just find a way to work together with the Ministry of Defense. What can we do? Saying a national summit, well, they are not out of their way, but they should seek, experts' decision on this one and say, what can we do? Even if we have to, call on foreign experts who can help us. But when it comes to decisions like this on our own, our nation's defense, I will say bringing foreign hands, may not do it. But if we cannot handle it ourselves, maybe we should seek. It's not today we've been saying we want to seek, foreign assistance when it comes to combating insecurity. But at this time, anything on security is very critical. And we should know that it's not something we throw on the table and everybody will come say something. No, wait, this is how we will do it. Even people that they don't know what it takes to, defend this country. They're not in that sector. They are not experts in that field. They just want to come and say something. It will not work. I think that at this point we should just relax because it's on that Senator Akpabio said don't pit Senate against don't pit, I beg your pardon, don't pit Senate against Tinubu and all of that. Let's just calm down. Let's calm down. Okay, let's not heat up the whole thing up, especially when we're having conversations on security. It's very crucial. Let's not take it to a level where we don't get to hear ourselves. We all want to find and prefer solutions to this insecurity situation. True. So we don't have to fight over it because it's something that should bring about peace. We don't have to fight when we're trying to find solution to insecurity. So the people who are trying to find solutions to insecurity are already fighting. So how are we going to even come to a place where we get to accept that okay, we are doing it for the right reasons? When we want to find solutions to insecurity, there should be no fighting. Fighting alone will already crumble the plan. And it's important. It's just like saying we want to cook food and then the food is not in sight. What are we going to eat? No food then. We can't be fighting when we're trying to find a solution to insecurity and to, escalating violence in the country when we ourselves are already causing violence. While we're trying to, solve violence, we're already, violence is already brewing in the name of we trying to solve violence. Two wrongs cannot make right. It's that simple. Moving away from that story. I get my time is far spent on the show this morning. Thank you for joining us in newspaper review. And thanks to Sir Julius. We always appreciate your contribution on the show. It's Friday. Go out there and have great fun. They say pay yourself. Yeah. When you get paid, pay yourself. Pay yourself means, take care